I can see that my role right now must be silence. Like God himself must do, I must not give a hint of what I know is to come. These men need to go through this. It will be very different sooner than it seems. At last, I understand. My thoughts turn to Peter. What is he going through right now? I ask about him, and Andrew offers to bring me to his big brother, Simon. I smiled to myself. Andrew the bringer, even on this day. We duck out the door, and under cover of rainfall, we hurry among the streets and alleyways. A few streets away, we climb the stairs on the side of a house and enter the upstairs room. What I see before me is a picture of depression. Peter sits alone, head in hands, in a dark room, staring at the rain. He is a man who has gone from the mountaintop to the pit of despair in one day, and it shows on his weary countenance and bloodshot eyes. He has not bathed, eaten, or moved for the last 24 hours. Andrew gently introduces us and takes his leave. I ask if I can sit, and Peter nods toward a chair nearby. For a long time, I sit, searching for words. I can see that Peter is wrestling and losing with the silence of God and the shadow of Peter's own failure. What words of hope or help can I offer? After an hour or so, without a word, Peter slides a scroll across the table to me. It is his writing, some sort of a journal. I assume he has invited me to read it.
Jesus had been determined to go to Jerusalem. He said he was going to die, didn't he? At our Last Supper, he told us to eat and drink in remembrance of him. What did that mean? Why did he let Judas go like that? In the garden, he said his heart was heavy to the point of death, that I slept while he prayed. The mob came. Judas kissed him. I began to fight, but he told me to put my sword away. I ran. They took him. John and I followed at a distance and went into the courtyard. John is bolder than I, that son of thunder. Jesus was silent while people screamed accusations at him, and while he stood alone, I denied him 3 times. He went to Pilate, then to Herod, then to Pilate again. They beat him and mocked him. Still, I did nothing. They led Jesus off to be crucified, and I called down curses on myself, swearing that I didn't know him. I watched from a distance as my Lord writhed in anguish on the cross, and the guilt and shame was overwhelming. Could I have stopped it? Should I have stopped it? Maybe if I had prayed instead of sleeping. Maybe if I had kept fighting, or never fought at all. Maybe if I had offered myself to go instead of him, rather than running. Maybe if I hadn't denied him. I had said that I would die for him. What happened to me? He is gone. Gone. No rescue, no miracles. It's over. Maybe I should go back to fishing. Maybe stay in hiding. Who knows what the Romans or the temple guard will do now? Maybe I should take up where Jesus left off. But what was he doing? Healing? Preaching? Getting himself killed? I couldn't do that now. I denied him. I am so weak. I am such a failure. Just let me sleep, or brood, or I don't know.
I look up. Peter?
Don't call me that name. My name is Simon. I'm no rock.
I understand.
No, you do not understand. Jesus named me Peter because he saw something in me. He wanted me to be a rock. You know the last thing he called me? Simon. He said that Satan would sift me like wheat. Well, I was sifted all right. I failed. So do me a favor. Never call me Peter again.
Okay, I'm sorry. Simon, Remember the patience of Job? Well,
In his grief, Job said it would be better if he'd never been born.
Yes, but Elijah's bold victory on Mount Carmel might...
After which, he got a death threat, so he fled and wanted to die.
Now, this was clearly not going well. But yes, circumstance can bring us from the mountain to the pit of despair.
And how about complete and abject failure? Is that a circumstance?
I'm trying to say that maybe things will change. Another bad choice.
Listen, I promised that I would never deny him. Then I denied him 3 times. I swore that I would die for him. Then I swore that I never knew him. I was ashamed of him. Now I am ashamed of me.
Anyone could be influenced by a crowd. Don't be too hard on yourself.
Look, are you trying to help? Because you're not. I was there. By mid-afternoon, he was gone. You know what else? They took him down. Mary, John, and others. Even a Pharisee, but not Peter, not Simon. Simon the fisherman, Simon the unfaithful, Simon the loser. He was too afraid. He was hiding.
It sure can get dark in the dark night of the soul. There is no rest, no comfort. Judas has already killed himself to end the guilt and shame. Peter is considering the same thing. Should I quote some scriptures? No, it's too late for that. Or too early. When guilt mixes with loss, it is too much to handle. I'm quiet for an hour or so, watching, trying to think of something. At last, he speaks again.
Lazarus. Jesus brought him back to life. But who can bring Jesus back to life? I can't believe it. God is dead, and no man can bring him back again. I saw him, beaten so badly that I could hardly recognize him. Last night, I didn't sleep. But the night before, I slept while Jesus prayed. He asked me to pray with him. I didn't. He called me Simon then, too. Told me to pray so I wouldn't fall into temptation. I didn't, so I did. I wonder, if I pray all the time now, can I bring him back? If I never sleep again, will I earn his forgiveness? I keep asking God, but he gives me no visions, no dreams, just unanswered questions.
Another long silence.
Things were rough the last few weeks. Why did Jesus keep stirring things up with the elders? Then that whirlwind ending to it all. Completely unexpected, unpredictable, out of control. And now he's gone. No matter how many times I turn it over in my mind, it doesn't add up right. This isn't how it's supposed to end, and I can't make it right. Not by staying awake, not by identifying myself with him, not with a sword, not with a great confession, not even by being there for him. It is broken now, and it can't be fixed.
I try to speak again. Peter, do you remember walking on the water toward Jesus?
Oh, you mean when I sank in the waves? He called me Simon then, too.
Do you remember when Jesus told you that he would build his kingdom on your confession?
I remember him calling me Satan, telling me to get behind him.
A rooster crows outside. Peter laughs dryly.
27.
What?
That's the 27th time that same rooster has crowed today.
36 hours of night for Peter. My mind drifts in reflection. What do I do when a dark night stretches to 3 days and nights? Or to 40 days? Or 40 years? Jesus healed a man at the pool of Bethesda who had been crippled for 38 years. The day that he was healed, how many others were left around the pool? Why do some get a word or a healing and others don't? Peter is waiting for Sunday morning, but he doesn't know it. I so much want to tell him, silence is not abandonment. In the morning, you will be filled. There is another chapter. Turn the page.